a weakness. They will have, who's their fourth option? Is it one of the best offensive centers in basketball, or is it the second best shooter of all time? Like, those are your questions about the fourth option for the team. So the only reason, I shouldn't say the only reason, there have been a couple reasons why the Warriors hadn't fully clicked yet this year. There was the drama between Draymond and KD. There was Draymond and Iggy both deteriorating as offensive players. But the biggest reason was Klay, aside from that explosion he had early in the season, the 60-point game, that he had not been himself until the last 5 games, where he's averaging 27, 50% from 3. If he's back to being Klay Thompson, and even without Boogie, nobody is touching this basketball.
I think that Klay finding his shot before Boogie was very, very important.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because now all we're really concerned about is, okay, what roles are they going to play? It's hard to imagine an NBA team can be more efficient. Based on the numbers and stuff they've accomplished offensively the last couple years, I've been working with Nick. He's let me know it's hard for an NBA team to become more efficient on the offensive end. So it's just a matter of what roles they're going to play. Now, me personally, I got to put a disclaimer out there. I'm a fan of Boogie Cousins. And the reason why is because I got a chance to know him and some of the other players that play at Kentucky because I know their coach. I know Boogie has struggled with some things off the court. I know he's worked tremendous to try to improve his life, to try to understand his life, trying to understand himself better. And he's gone through extreme measures to do that. Anytime you have one of the premier players tear their Achilles, you're pulling for them to be able to get back to be that player they were. And I believe that the Warriors have the type of players in Klay and in Steph that it's important how Boogie looks. And I believe they're going to go out of their way to be able to help him to be able to get his career restarted in him signing that 1-year deal. So when you have players like that that are going to go out of their way, that are superstar players, I believe it's going to work out for Golden State. And me personally, I wish I wasn't pulling for Boogie with the Warriors because I want to see it be competitive. But I do have some stake in this because I'm cheering for Boogie and for him because of on a personal standpoint.
Aren't the Warriors one of the teams whose players know each other, play with each other, work with each other better than almost anyone else on offense and defense? They've been successful for a very long time as a specific unit. I wonder, when you add Boogie to that mix, whether that disrupts that in some way, whether the learning curve, and not learning to play, but learning to add yet another star to a mix works.
So it's a fair point, and it's at its base level, Boogie Cousins taking minutes from Kayvon Looney, even if there's a learning curve, it makes you better. But if Boogie is a disruptor, if he is not who he says he's going to be, which is someone that doesn't understand his role or someone that demands touches, then yes, that absolutely could be a legitimate disruption. But I am more in Chris's camp as far as I actually think this coming at this point in the year gives the Warriors have to create new challenges for themselves during the regular season.
Great teams, great athletes, they have to create this stuff in their mind.
And so if you remember the 3rd year the Miami Heat were together with LeBron and D. Wade, the year after they won their title against the Oklahoma City Thunder, that year LeBron and D. Wade during the season were trying to compete with each other, see if someone could shoot 60%. It was games within games, and then they got on that win streak. And so then it was, how long can we keep this win streak going? It was to keep you interested when you know the whole season's going to come down to 2 weeks in June. Or for the Warriors, maybe more likely 2 weeks in May in the Western Conference Finals. And so I think that trying to get Boogie acclimated, I think trying to show the world what Boogie can be their new challenge, can be their temporary thing, rallying cry as a team. Now, maybe Boogie and Draymond butt heads. Maybe it could go the other way. But I don't think it's a coincidence that when this team was at its worst point was when Steph wasn't there. Steph is such a calming force and so much the unquestioned leader of the team that if Steph says this is going to be a priority of ours, it will be. And Steph has been, to his credit, the most selfless superstar I've ever seen across the NBA, and one of the most selfless in all sports. To bring in Durant, to always say, hey, if shots are going to have to come from somewhere, Klay wants to keep his, you can take some of mine. All the things Steph has done, I think they wouldn't have signed Boogie if Steph wasn't okay with it, if Steph didn't sign off on that. So I think Steph will put his arms around Boogie and the whole team will.
I guess I didn't mean as much personality-wise with Boogie Cousins, just like what happened with OKC and them trying trying to take 3 stars, put them together, and say, okay, you guys are 3 great basketball players, go be successful. Is it possible that Boogie, even if he stays healthy and if he doesn't cause any off-the-field disruptions, is it possible that just his style or him trying to work his way into the game with the Warriors could be somewhat of a challenging learning curve?
Basketball's a game of talent. Boogie made a conscious decision that he was going to not test free agency, not see who else. He decided he wanted to go to Golden State. And in doing that, they didn't initially believe it. The first phone call they took was like, he's kidding and everything. No, but like you said, they called around, and I believe they called Steph as one of the first people. And when the hierarchy signs off on it, man, they all got their money for the most part. It's just a matter of, man, we got to make this work. This is a chance for them to reach history. All right, so they would have reached history with Boogie or without him, but Boogie is there. And I just believe they have the type of players in Klay and in Steph that they are going to make this work. They're going to be right. The general public is going to be wrong in this.
And in OKC, they thought they had 3 stars.
Well,
problem was Melo wasn't.
Right.
Melo wasn't a star. Boogie right now, even off the Achilles, way better than Melo was in OKC.
We knew that.
Oh, you know what?
Okay, got to take a break. Coming up,
Okay.
Can Nick Foles lead the Eagles to a revenge win over the Saints? That's next on First Things First.
Melo was voted most likely to succeed in his high school class.
I was class